NBA draft coming around the corner in June. And during the game, when things were getting out of hand, I just decided to check on Zach Edey's draft stock. And I'll be straight up with you. I was a little surprised to see there are some who don't even think he's a potential top 20 pick and things of that nature, Jay. And he's a two-time Naismith Award winner here. What's Zach's future, do you think, Jay?
Well, he's going to play in the NBA, and as long as he stays healthy, he'll play for a long time. He's only been playing organized basketball for 7 years. You know, he's from Toronto, Ontario, grew up playing hockey and baseball, and obviously when you're as big as he is, basketball is going to be a part of your life. But he has, you could argue, Rich, that he's the most improved player from last year to this year as the National Player of the Year. And the numbers he put up this year, I don't remember him even having a bad game. He might have had a game where it wasn't up to his standard, but he hadn't had a bad one. And he's the most impactful player in America on the college level. And I think not only is there a place for him in the NBA, there's a significant place. Now, the entire game has changed, but he's not going to be like no NBA team is going to all of a sudden turn into a low post centric offense. It's still going to be an analytics game about the 3-point line and about attacking the rim. But to have a player like that on your team, he's going to play a long time. Now, whether he's drafted in the top 15 or what, this year's draft is not as powerful as last year's. There's no Wembanyama in this draft. And nobody you would say is a transformational talent, but there's a lot of talent. And but I look at him, you know, being a top 15 or top 20 pick. But last year at this time, people were saying he wouldn't even get drafted because the game's changed so much. It hasn't changed that much where a guy that's 7'4" and that effective is not going to find a place in the league. And frankly, I think a number of those players last night, like I think Cam Spencer is going to play in the NBA. Tristan Newton's going to play in the NBA. There's a lot of talent on those teams, but especially a lot of talent on that UConn team that'll play at the next level.
Hey, man, Tristan Newton's good. That guy is a good basketball player, Jay, and he's proven it. I mean, you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. You got to pound the table for somebody who is a crucial player in a back-to-back NCAA men's tournament champion. That guy can play. That guy.
Well, he was the Bob Cousy Award winner this year as the nation's best point guard. I think he's got 4 triple doubles in his career, 2 of them this year, and I think maybe he's got 5. He had a couple last year as well. But he's big. He can rebound. He's an excellent passer, and he can shoot a little bit. But he's really good getting to the basket. Some of the finishes he had over and around Zach Edey last night, I thought were outstanding. I mean, he's a big time player, and for him, he was equally as good last year in the NCAA championship game when they played San Diego State as he was against Purdue last night. I mean, he had 20 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, and the last player to do that, to go at least 25-5 in a championship game when his team won, was Carmelo Anthony back in 2003. And it's not like there haven't been good players in the last 21 years.
Yeah, right.
And he's doing that. He's legit. I agree. And he's a transfer. He was at East Carolina. He's from El Paso, Texas, started his career at East Carolina, and then transferred to UConn. And that's one of the things about the transfer portal that I love, is that players aren't relegated to where they were evaluated out of high school. So we're seeing a lot of these players that go to a mid-major school and they kill it, and they don't have to stay there or give up a year of their life if they want to transfer and sit out. You know, now they can transfer to the bigger stage, and he was dominant on that stage.
Hey, man, not to sound like you, but I mean, if a chicken magnet can buy out, John Calipari and let him move, why can't a player do that and not have a buyout? Just go in the portal. Like, honestly, there's not much different other than just a buyout being put on the table by somebody who's insanely rich who wants his buddy to coach his team. You know what I mean?
That's sort of the issue. And I know coaches don't like it when I say this because it sounds kind of snarky, but the coaches transfer portal is always open and they have contracts. And you have coaches that leave like days after they say, no, this is where I want to be. And they've got John Calipari had a lifetime contract Well, he knew what lifetime meant when he signed it. And nobody, you don't hear any coaches coming out saying, this is wrong. John Calipari's facing a little bit of adversity and he's running away from the adversity. And what about commitment? You don't say any of that stuff. They only say it about players. And players have the same wants and needs as coaches. They want to be used the right way, and they want to be valued, and their careers are a lot shorter as players. And so, look, I get it that there are difficulties that come with the transfer portal. Roster certainty is more difficult. I get it. And I'm sympathetic to the coaches. I really am. But not to the point where you want to restrict player movement without them being compensated. Now, if they were signed to contracts and they had buyouts and all, which is, I think, where the NCAA will and should go, then I'm fine. Then that's fine, because those are arm's length negotiations that the player and the university agreed to. But absent that, they're just students to be treated like any other student, as the NCAA says it. And athletes transfer at a much lower rate than non-athlete students do. So to me, it's much ado about nothing. The players should be able to move until they're compensated appropriately.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.